Family, good morning. It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. This is Wake Up Bama for Sunday, January 11th. Some good news in as you wake up to this glorious day. Ty Haywood, a former five-star, has been predicted to commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Yo, this is so needed. This is really kind of the first big momentum win that we've had in a little bit. And it comes at a perfect time dealing with kind of this stuff with Hollywood Smothers, right? Which has obviously been negative. I'm going to talk about this in the podcast as well, but I'm going to start on a positive note. I have been asking, where are the offensive linemen? We need offensive linemen. We need quality offensive linemen in. And it looks like that is going to happen at some point in time. So Ty Haywood is actually in Tuscaloosa this weekend. And it's interesting because he was committed to Alabama during that class of 2025. He's out of Texas. He was a really important pickup. And then for whatever reason, he chose to, he went really silent, and then he ended up just signing with Michigan. He played in about 15 snaps, for Michigan. Didn't see a lot of time, so he's a redshirt. So he comes over here as a redshirt freshman. I really like the pickup. And I think it comes at a time where, as I was speaking, it's kind of like a boost for the program. I think the coaches definitely needed somebody like this to come on board, right? It felt like we're in the transfer portal. And this is important to note. You don't have to get all your transfers in by the 16th. Did you know that? Once a player is in the transfer portal, like you have, I guess, forever to get that player. But, of course, it has to make sense in terms of like school enrollment. But just something to kind of point out. But I feel like when we look to our current commitments, who's our top guy? Is there like a guy in the transfer portal class that is that's the guy? And maybe it doesn't have to be like that. Maybe it's about, taking care of certain spots. Maybe bringing in some reserves. But like Ty Haywood, I think makes your ears perk up. And it seems like Alabama was always the place that he wanted to be. So hopefully this follows through, and I get it. Everything is super fluid in the transfer portal, but it seems like this is going to come to fruition sooner than later. So Ty Haywood has been predicted by national analysts to commit to Alabama. And I think the timing is critical, right? You need offensive linemen, and you get your second pickup from Michigan, right? Cayden Strayhorn, interior offensive lineman, and then you can get Ty Haywood, who would play tackle. Now, I have no idea if he played right tackle, left tackle, but he comes in as a certain need. I guess, things we've learned is Bama is still in play for, elite prospects, right? I think people are like, oh, the guy there. Now Bama's just getting guys from, New Haven and Mercer and North Alabama. Well, those guys fit in where they need to, okay? I don't care where the punter's from. I really don't. Did it matter to Ole Miss where Trinidad Chambliss was from, right? Ferris State, you know where that's at? He balled out. I'm not too concerned about that. I'm concerned about getting guys who want to be a part of the program, who want to be here, who could add value. I want offensive linemen that are big, that are nasty, that are pissed off for greatness, that have that dog mentality that we've been seeing that Indiana has, okay? Because that team right now has that pride and performance that Alabama used to have. It's like watching an Alabama team of the old, and I'm sorry to get a little bit worked up here, but my goodness, we want dogs in here. We want guys that have that championship mentality. That's the first thing I'm checking with these guys. I'm not even talking about money. I'm like, look, where's your mindset? Because if your mindset is about chasing the bag, you're not here. I want you to have a championship mindset. The dollars will come. And the dollars will come when you go from here to the NFL, because Bama is an NFL factory. But we need, as a team, guys who have the mentality to chase championships, not chase the bag. Say it again. Chase championships, not chase the bag. Right? And hopefully Ty Haywood, who could be the next prospect to commit, has that dog mentality and has that mindset. And every guy going forward, okay? We don't want bag chasers. You want guys who are going to have buy-in. And I have to tell you this, and this is probably going to make you a little bit upset, but you know who's recruiting him is Coach Kapilovic, right? Same guy who's recruiting Strayhorn. You're like, aren't they going to make changes? I don't know. And there's kind of a theory that this will change after the transfer portal. Why? Why would it change then? So kind of 2 points to ponder as we discuss Haywood. Are more offensive linemen going to start coming on board? And what's kind of the magic number? We got a lot of young guys. I'd like to see a vet come in. A guy that has experience, right? And can Haywood kind of be a building block for that offensive line that definitely needs to take a step forward? Can he match what Michael Carroll did as a freshman? Right? So with that said, that is our opening segment right here on Wake Up Bama, and good morning to you. I hope you have a glorious Sunday. I hope that you had time to rest. You know what? I hope that you're catching this not at 4 a.m. I hope that you've had time to rest. I hope that you've had time to recharge and reset your batteries, right? Because that's important in life. You need to reset. You need to take time for yourself. You're going to church, pray, meditate, right? Be in the moment. Because right now, I feel like the world is almost as chaotic as the transfer portal. So just slow down. It's okay, right? You don't need to get caught up in that. I promise you, I will organize all the news for you. And when news comes in, we'll get it covered. But Sunday is obviously a day of rest. So I hope that you are feeling rested and recharged going into this day. And as I always ask politely, will you please get this video to 500 likes? That should always be the baseline. I put a lot into this. You know, I deliver, and I want you guys to deliver as well. And thank you very much to our Wake Up Bama podcast sponsors. To do that, hit the join button. I appreciate your consideration in doing so. And also, Sleeper, thank you very much. And please support Sleeper. When you download the app, $20 you get upon entry. The promo code, as you know, is Tailgate. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. Available in 25 states. Okay. So today on the program, okay, we're going to go over the latest on Hollywood Smothers. There's a lot to go into there. Everybody's been asking about that update. We have three big pieces of news, like Ty Haywood, Hollywood Smothers, and what's going on there, and then the Cam Coleman visit, right? Those are mega pieces of news. We'll detail it all today. I got a couple additional transfer portal questions that I want to ask to you in terms of kind of like a big picture from the coaching staff. Going to talk about a couple players that have been re-signed, 2 on the defensive side. Georgia Tech, they've been collecting former Alabama players. You seen this, right? New names kind of surfacing to keep your eye on. And my biggest question kind of on the back end is biggest portal needs right now. I've been going through the roster and kind of building everything out. And I have a good, obviously offensive lineman, but there's a couple positions where you certainly need to bring in some guys. So all that and more on Wake Up Bama. And thank you very much for being here. The latest on Hollywood Smothers, man, this has gotten really messy. It's really not a good look for him. And kind of the timeline is he came to Bama, committed to Bama, it moved quickly. It seemed like a good fit. It seemed like Texas was going to get Raleek, right? And Alabama was going to get Hollywood, right? 2 running backs that are basically very comparable to each other. Bama gets its running back, and yes, I was excited. Who wasn't? Were you not excited? I was excited because I was like, this is pretty amazing, because here we are finishing 125th in the run, and the first guy that you get from the portal is a running back? Absolutely. I love that. It was just like, it reminded me of when we were having so much trouble snapping the football with Seth McLaughlin, right? And the first portal addition that you got was Parker Brailsford, right? So I was like, okay, we're cooking. We got the running back in. I had no idea what you told to get that man to be able to commit. But the problem was he never signed. He never signed any paperwork. So later in the week, Friday, we find out that he's taking a visit to Texas. There has been people that have informed me he was enrolled in classes. How does that happen? You didn't sign stuff, but you can enroll? That sounds fishy, to be honest. Sounds weird. So, look, this is kind of the big money versus loyalty. And players are going all over. Just as I said in the opening, it's about bag chasers. And is he a bag chaser? Would you label him? Is everybody a bag chaser? Or kind of you want to be here because you feel you could help the program take a step forward. But 24/7 Horns, who does a great job, there's a lot of great Texas sites, just like there's a lot of great Bama sites. They did report that he did make the visit. He got in Friday night, and I think he's still there. And kind of looking at, kind of some of the outside stuff, Texas fans are really turning this into like bashing Bama. I'm telling you, Bama lives in the head of Texas because, look, even though Alabama didn't field its best team, Alabama still had a better season than Texas. Alabama had a better team than Texas. Texas did not make the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? So Bama is always going to live rent-free in Texas up top. It's wild. That's why they're hoping that they can win this basketball game, right? They were mocking Bama's recent portal additions from North Alabama, Mercer, right? Jackson State. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter where the guys are from anymore. It really doesn't. It's about getting guys that have that mindset, and if they can play and if they can fit right now. It's not about paying $5 million to somebody to sit and wait. That's old. That's outdated. You got to get guys who are ready to go, veterans. I love the pickup from Mercer, actually, the safety, 6'4", 200 pounds. Yes, please. And there's no loyalty. This whole Smothers thing, there's no loyalty. There's not. Isaiah Horton came here for 1 year. He was like, I like Ty Simpson. He's a good dude. I wanted to play with him. I feel I'd be fed the ball. I caught 8 touchdowns. Now I'm going to Texas A&M. I'll go to College Station, get paid the bag, and I'm out of here. I don't care about the capstone. I don't care about College Station. I care about playing football, having production and going to the NFL. That's the mindset, right? But I think fans here, there's still loyalty here within the fans, so much so. That's why it's hurt. That's why fans are so hurt with this Hollywood Smothers deal, because they have loyalty. The fans have loyalty. The fans are paying money for these players, right? It matters to them. So I have a question for you inside the comment box, okay? And this is a big one right here. Do you think that Alabama should pull Hollywood Smothers' offer and just be like, we're out of this? We thought you were committed. You took a late visit. That's cool. We hope it works out for you, but we're moving on. We got 5 other running backs that are not hitting the transfer portal that want to be here. Do you think that Alabama should pull his offer? I'm dead serious. I've been thinking about that. Everything can be repaired, right? You got to have accountability, and it takes time to move past things. But if Hollywood does decide to stay here, Alabama fans will 100% embrace him. That's how loyal Alabama fans are. But do you think that Alabama should still hold that offer? Do you think that he should still come and join the roster if he's just like, you know what? Actually, I love the payment that I got for my visit. I wanted an extra $50,000 for the visit. I bought my uncle a car, whatever, and I'm deciding to stay at Bama. Roll Tide. I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me. But this is where we're at in the world of college football. Does pulling offers become a strategic move like moving forward? You know what I'm saying? Is that a way for Alabama to kind of get kind of some hand back and kind of make a national statement? That would actually make national headlines. I'm dead serious. Alabama pulls offer from top running back after visit. Because then that would look good for Bama, to be honest, because then it would show that they have a backbone. Be like, Bama ain't playing in the transfer portal, bro. You come over here with the mindset and you're going to get paid, but if you're kind of flip-flopping, we don't want you. Bama sends message in the transfer portal by pulling Hollywood's scholarship. There you go. But I don't think that'll happen. I kind of feel like he ends up here still. So anyways, I don't know. That's what we got on Hollywood. It's Hollywood. It's going to continue to play out. It's drama. It's a movie, okay? So when breaking news happens, I promise you I'll bring it here. Cam Coleman and the visit. More drama. What is he going to do? This is suspenseful. This is the number one player in the transfer portal. What is there? Almost 5,000 prospects in the transfer portal. This is number one. Now, he stopped in here in Tuscaloosa Friday, Saturday. People were expecting him. I think some people thought he'd be at the basketball game. I never heard that. He didn't go to the basketball game. And he loved his visit, right? Who wouldn't love the visit here? I've never read an article, seen an interview, and be like, no, I had the worst time. No, you get the red carpet treatment. Everything's laid out for you. You get to meet the guys. You get to meet the coaches, right? Don't you find it ironic that Alabama announced the re-signing of Red Morgan, former teammate, the same day that he's here? Love that. Nice move, Alabama football. I'm serious. That was a good move. You got to play chess in all sorts of ways. And now the wait begins. And it's up to Cam. It's up to him and his family to sit and make a decision. What place is better for me for this year? And that's the crazy thing. Just this year, right? Remember, it used to be for the next 3 to 4 years, I'm going to choose. It's like for the next year, this is the best school for me. And he's got some offers. The Texas schools versus Bama. And now we wait. And we keep, our phones close with anticipation. And let me ask you something, because I've been asking everybody. Is Cam Coleman a player that takes Alabama to the national championship? Does he have that big of a difference immediately on the team? Or would you like to kind of see maybe that $2 to $4 million kind of be spread out with bringing some players that have that mindset, that dog mentality in here? Or do you think that Cam Coleman, day one, instantly he's catching for 150 yards a game, 200 yards, and he just takes over college football Heisman Trophy and Alabama wins the title because of him? Right? Let me know what you think inside the comment box. Do you think getting Cam Coleman puts Alabama on the map? I think where it puts Alabama on the map right away is instant brand recognition. I mean, this will be a front page story because everybody will be talking about it. Alabama beats out billionaire programs for top player in transfer portal. There's your story. There's your headline. How did Alabama do it? What went into it? Right? And if I'm Cam Coleman too, I'm looking at the quarterbacks, right? Texas bought theirs. Marcel Reed comes back for A&M. Arch Manning, right, for Texas. You have these two quarterbacks over here. They're all going to be good quarterbacks. You look at the offensive production. You look at the offensive coordinator, right? I think one edge is clearly Derek Nix. I mean, he's got to be tight with Cam Coleman, right? And you know that Courtney Morgan is great at personal relationships. You know that Bama has a gigantic brand. You're going to be on ESPN every single day. It'd be the Cam Coleman network, right? I mean, think about all the things with Brian Williams. They will put Cam Coleman on the front of NCAA football if he commits to Bama, right? You know how it works. So I guess when we're kind of looking at things, is he going to commit to Bama? What does Bama have? And think about this. Be thinking about this inside the comment box. What does Bama have that Texas A&M, and Texas Tech don't have? Think about it that way. What does Bama have that those schools don't? Well, I mean, Texas Tech made the playoffs. They're relatively kind of new to that space. Texas missed. A&M made the playoffs, right? You look at the national championships, right? You look at the head coaches for sure. That's an interesting question. What does Bama have that those other schools don't have? I'd be curious to find out your answer inside the comment box. But we are just waiting for Cam Coleman, and rightfully so. It's a big decision, right? It's a lot of money on the table. And Alabama is right in it. Alabama is right in it. Okay. I have a couple transfer portal questions for you, okay? And by the way, if you're liking the podcast, take a minute, hit the thumbs up on this video, jump inside the comment box. Let me know what city you're listening to this from. I always like to see, we go, nationwide, global. There's people all over. Who's outside the country listening to this? Okay, so a couple transfer portal questions. Let's do a deep dive on this. Is Coach Kalen DeBoer, is he upgrading the talent or just replacing kind of losses? What would you say on that? I asked the live crew this earlier. So is DeBoer upgrading talent or replacing guys right now? Oh, man, I think if you ask me, and the transfer portal class is not completed, but it feels like we're kind of replacing spots rather than kind of like who's a guy that we've got from the transfer portal that's an instant upgrade? Think about it like that. I mean, Caleb Woodson coming in, we had to get a linebacker to replace those guys, right? That's kind of like you're fitting him in. The safety, he's coming in. Okay. That's a depth piece, and maybe he'll, become a starter. Hollywood, that was a guy that you brought in, or at least tried to, because you wanted a faster type running back. Other than that, you had to replace your punter. So you got your punter, and you had to replace your long snapper. So maybe just kind of replacing. Not so much upgrading yet. But like I said, it's not done. Let me ask you this. What's the biggest transfer win so far? Like, what out of the transfers so far, what would you say the biggest transfer addition is? You're probably like, man, I don't even know. Like, I don't have it in front of me. I'll bring it up on the screen. If you're driving, please keep driving. I'll read it off to you guys, but I'll go over the additions real quick. I'm going to show it on the screen. Okay, so here's my question. Who were the biggest transfer portal additions so far? I'll go full screen on this. So the biggest addition so far. Josh Ford. Hollywood. Well, you know how that's going. Caleb Woodson. Devin Tompkins. Caden Strayhorn. Ethan Tangle. Adam Watford. Carmelo O'Neal. Jackson Shuttlesworth, who, by the way, is a preferred walk-on. Or if we get Ty Haywood in, would it be Ty Haywood? Interesting question, right? I don't know. I'm kind of pulling, like right now, either Caleb Woodson or Devin Tompkins. Let me know inside the comment box. I'm asking you the biggest transfer that Alabama has added so far. Clearly, if you get Cam, it'll be Cam. I just kind of find that interesting at this point. Okay. I'm also asking you, how much do you trust the staff's evaluation of these players? I kind of feel good in this regard. And I'm going to tell you why. I think like that kind of goes on Courtney Morgan. And Courtney Morgan's done a really good job with the guys that he's brought in. I mean, think about the recruits that they brought in. And now it's about, he's going to have to start adjusting to evaluating veterans to bring those guys in faster. But yeah, I like what the evaluation standpoint, I think they do a really good job. So I feel good on that area. But like I said, is it about veterans or is it about young people now in the transfer portal and about recruiting overall? I think high school recruiting, it's always going to be there. It's going to be like a baseline. But now it's about veterans who fit the system that can play right away. And I'll go into this later on, but be thinking about what is Alabama's top remaining priority. Let me know. And maybe Alabama is not panic adding, right? Think about that. Maybe they're just, we need this guy, we need that guy. Like, they could have got Jimothy Lewis. He wasn't, like, did you watch his tape? I'm glad they didn't get him. Good, go to Cal. As much as we need offensive linemen, I don't think that he would have fit. I'm telling you. I think he was too slow. You know, there's been a couple misses for sure, but I don't think they're, like, in panic mode adding guys. And just remember this, like, the portal quality, you know, it has to be there. You have to get quality guys coming in, even though you have 105 scholarships. Moving on, let's talk about some guys who were re-signed in the portal, right? Red Morgan and Cayden Jones. So, I don't know. I always talk about this, I guess, now on every show. I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to the whole re-signing deal. Texas A&M started this, and now Bama has started to do it as well. Whatever. It's like, you know, it's part of it. It's part of the world that we live in. I guess it doesn't bother me too much. It's just like, you know, it's like Kirby Smart said. It's the announcement culture. So everything has to be announced and broadcasted and all that stuff. Whatever. Aside from that, I'm happy that Red Morgan, you know, is in the limelight and got re-signed. This guy had one hell of a year. He was a tremendous player, and he got better and better and better as the season went on, and he contributed at a high level for that fantastic secondary. Having Red come back is a big boost for that Alabama defense. And then Cayden Jones, this is interesting because I've been asking you, next to Caleb Woodson, who's going to be that second linebacker? Who's going to be that third linebacker? Maybe Cayden Jones? I mean, are they going to announce a contract negotiation for somebody like QB Reese? Right? Because he's kind of the next guy. Are we going to get announcements for all the players? I don't know. Are these one-year contracts? Wouldn't it be crazy to see the contracts? And then I'm really wondering about this, fam. I am really interested about this. Are we in like some sort of contract negotiations with like Yanzi Pierre, Keon Sabb, and maybe like a Bray Hubbard? And maybe not Sabb and Hubbard. Maybe those guys go to the NFL. I don't know. We're waiting on decisions. But like, I know we all want Cam Coleman, right? Like more than anything. I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Yanzi Pierre is a very important piece on the defense. Outside of him, because you lost, you know, Noah Carter, Quay Rusa. They left. So you got Justin Hill and Yanzi, the leading guy in sacks. Yanzi's a beast. Yanzi needs a payday, a big payday. At times, I felt he was the best player on Alabama's defense. Would you rather have Cam Coleman or would you rather have Yanzi Pierre? I know, tough question because it's two different positions, but man, Yanzi Pierre better get paid. You got to pay the guys on defense. I know they don't get all the notoriety and stuff, but Yanzi Pierre, he's an in-state guy, right? Man, that guy's a superstar. Pay him. Make sure that he's paid. You do not want Yanzi Pierre going somewhere else, I promise you. I feel that one of the things that we've learned is that retention is really important to the staff. And just how Clinton Dix said, if you're not productive over here, they don't need you over here. And guys are going to go elsewhere. And there's a couple guys that, I felt had production that left. But overall, they're going to weed you out. And I think a lot of that is trimming the fat, right? And I think from listening to Courtney Morgan and Bob Welton, they have a bucket of money for retention, recruiting, right? Because retention costs a lot. Got to keep guys. Okay, real quick, Georgia Tech. Have you seen this? They've been like loading up on former Bama guys. Noah Carter, I think that was a great addition to Georgia Tech, and I'm not mad about these guys going to the ACC. I think Brent Key has something really good going on there. So, because you don't want these guys going to like the SEC, right? You don't want these guys going to, I don't know, like Ole Miss or something like that. Going to Georgia Tech is good. That's like That's close enough. Bama and Georgia Tech never really run into each other, so you can almost kind of like root for some of those guys, right? I'd like to see these guys do well when they go other places for the most part. Sometimes there's just so many guys that leave, you just forget about them, though. Because once you go to Georgia Tech, you're just like, you're not kind of on the main stage anymore. The teams you're playing, are not very good, like Wake Forest, and I don't know. You see how far Clemson's fell back. It's just the games aren't very interesting in the ACC to me. Jaylen Mbakwe, Joseph Ionita, and then how about this? Justice Haynes, remember former Alabama running back. He went to Michigan, had a great season, hit the transfer portal, and is reportedly getting $2 million to go to Georgia Tech. That's crazy. Whoa. Man. And then also kind of lumped into, where are they going? Isaiah Horton, he was visiting Texas A&M recently. Wow. So, people love players from Bama. And I say this all the time. Players are smart. Hey, go to Bama 1 year, get stamped with Bama, hit the transfer portal. You get, 50% increase on whatever you were getting paid. Because you're from Bama, period. A couple new names to know, right? Javon Campbell out of Kentucky, defensive lineman. And then Jackson Shuttlesworth, tight end that committed. He's a preferred walk-on out of Jacksonville State. Okay. Let's see. What I want to ask you guys real quick is transfer portal needs and kind of where the biggest needs are remaining on this team. Okay. I've been going through the roster with a fine-tooth comb just because of all the graphics that I build and all that stuff, kind of knee-deep in it. And I'm going to say this position, and this might shock you, okay? I feel that Alabama really needs to load up, stay with me here, at the tight end position. Just kidding. No, they have 9 tight ends. Oh, my goodness, man. Yo, shoot. We got 9 tight ends. No, okay, we're good on tight ends. Wide receivers, okay? This is really in no order. Let me know if you agree. Wide receivers, you only got 5 on scholarship. You need guys in. You get Cam. You might need 2 other guys to come in and just be, maybe kind of under. I would have loved to get that Tony Diaz guy and Cam Coleman. Can you imagine? Woof. So you need guys. You need to, maybe 2 more guys at receiver. Shoot, maybe even 3 more. And then I feel the offensive line, I would like to see, if you're able to get Ty Haywood, I would like to see them get maybe 2 more linemen. And maybe those 2 linemen, I'm getting specific here, be like veterans, guys who really had some experience, if that exists. Does it? Or played like moderately to at least come and kind of, because it's a gauntlet of a season, man. Look, we got all these young guys, fine. They have limited experience, and, guys get banged up, this and that. And then also that wolf position, right? You got Yanzi Pierre, and then you got Justin Hill. And then who? Right? So that's kind of where I have it in terms of, priority needs right now. Let me know what you think inside the comment box. Would you like to see another kicker come in? I know a lot of people calling for the kid from Marshall as well to kind of push Connor Talty. But Connor Talty, he was doing all right by the end of the season. Okay. So that is my segment for today. I'm going to pipe in some calls right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Have a beautiful Sunday. And, of course, as you know, news comes in, I got you covered on Bama Football on YouTube. On Saturday and Sunday, I've been going live at 12 p.m. I think that's a good day to kind of let Bama YouTube, the Wake Up show kind of breathe, and then live at 12 kind of recapping the morning news. And if anything breaks, I promise you I'll be live and we'll be talking about it. But enjoy the call-in portion, and I appreciate you guys being here. Remember, run the thumbs up on this video, and I really appreciate you guys' support on Wake Up Bama. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Call-in show starts right now.
This is Andy G. up in Maryland. How are you?
Hey, Andy G. Good to hear from you, man. I appreciate you being here. Welcome to the show.
Couple points, and then I'll get off here. I mean, how hard would it be to move Brady Hubbard to linebacker? You put 10 pounds on him. He's got safety speed and linebacker mentality. That's the first point. And maybe with all these tight ends, they're going to put some weight on somebody and move them to tackle. You remember, I don't know if you remember, but at one point in time, they had Jonah Williams on a 7,000-calorie diet so he could play left tackle. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I actually do, yeah.
So, I mean, they're all good if they got the frame to handle it. But when I was watching Wake Up Bama,
Mm-hmm.
and you put out the news about Smothers, and because 24/7 had Smothers enrolled.
Yeah. Yep.
Their notation. But the NCAA has got to do something, brother, because this is just nonsensical at this point, don't you think?
I think it seems like people can just kind of push around the NCAA. I think there's a lot of confusion. I think people it's the Wild West. I mean, we've never seen anything like this before. I mean, there are people that knew that Hollywood Smothers was enrolled. This is the part that gets so confusing to me, right? Is like Hollywood, help me out. If he's enrolled, how is he not signed? You see what I'm saying? It's like, what?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's a great question. And if that kid is enrolled, there's got to be a rule that says, okay, he's enrolled at this school now. You can't tamper with him anymore.
And could it come back to basically the kind of the Washington stuff? Like, but I clearly hear that he didn't sign, but like he had to sign something to get enrolled. So that's what's confusing to me. And I don't know. Texas feels confident. Maybe he doesn't go, but it kind of seems a little bit tainted now. Maybe, time will clear all that stuff up, and I guess it'll seem like a win for Bama, but who knows? Right now, it just doesn't look good. And kind of going back to your point about Bray Hubbard to linebacker, I wouldn't be mad about that. You could definitely put him out that wolf position. I mean, I would imagine he's athletic enough to be that, but I think that Bray probably bounces out. I mean, you just got Carmelo O'Neal, and then you have a couple other rising safeties. Anything else, Andy G?
I'm just wondering at this point, as frustrated as we are with all the grief of the ass kicking in the Rose Bowl, why we don't just cut the youngsters loose. Let's see what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Because in 2 years, they're going to know how to play together up front.
Yeah.
You're going to have a more cohesive unit. You brought them in. If they can't play, why'd you bring them in? Right?
I mean, think about it like this. We probably paid a ton for like Xavier Crowell. We better play him, right? Otherwise, it's just wasted cash, and Crowell will bounce out. He'll be stamped by Bama. He'll be, pissed that he didn't play. I mean, I think now you got to go, I'm all about getting like top-end freshmen, but now the model is veterans that are quality, that fit the system, that make sense financially. How you do that, you can't overspend on freshmen. I think we're paying some of our freshmen egregious amounts.
Well, at Alabama, we always set the standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do we have to play by the standard the rest of college football is? If they're going to give DeBoer 2 years to get his act together, and you play the youngins, it might change the whole view of the portal. If it's successful, I think the best teams are picking their spots where they hit the portal.
Yeah.
Right. They're not trying to get 22 starters out of the portal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the lower level teams do not have the players coming out of high school that we do. So buck the trend. Like, cut them loose. I mean, can they do any worse?
No.
And I got one more question, and I'll let you go. The boy from Selma, the linebacker, with the cat hair is his name. Kristen, is it Moore?
I'm not. I'm not familiar with that. Mm-mm.
I can tell you here. Hang on just a sec. I'll do it quickly here. Anyway, if you've seen this kid's tape, he went to Oklahoma. I don't know how we let that boy get away. You ought to see that kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you talk about a kid who looks like he could play for Indiana. He was the kid. So I'm not sure how we get away. how we let him get away. And I was looking at recruiting for 2026 and going state by state. We're not making the same impact that Nick did. How many times have we raided California? We are getting Mississippi, Alabama, and some out of Georgia. We're not getting nothing out of LSU. We're not getting nothing out of up where you used to live in the D.C. metro area anymore. So, it seems like we're very limited as to where we're pulling from with these high school kids. So, I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of problems, but it's all pretty frustrating. Anyway, I appreciate all your work, brother. You look tired this morning on Wake Up Bama, so I appreciate your work.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, brother.
All right, man. See ya. All right, 973, we got Chris from New Jersey. Chris, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Kyle. All right, well, I'm going to change the subject real fast, and I want to praise you. So, remember we had all that YouTube TV problem, and, I switched to Hulu, but, our family was all on, all on our account. I guess you can share it legally, everybody. But so what we did was we got everybody that, that antenna that you used for Christmas.
Yeah.
Gave those out.
Yeah.
Everybody is loving it. So I told my mother-in-law set hers up. She's like, oh, she's so happy. She's got 70 channels. I said, well, you got to thank Kyle. So my mother-in-law is thanking you for that, for the suggestion of the antenna, Kyle.
The antenna is amazing. The antenna, I'll tell you what.
Everybody. The
antenna is the fastest broadcast that you can get. It's way faster than YouTube TV, anything else. Like, if you get an antenna, you're about 10, 12 seconds ahead of everybody. It's wild. Yeah. And it's crystal clear.
Yeah, everybody's happy. So cool. I've been reflecting on signing people and I watched that game last night. First of all, so everybody listen to this. So remember what Saban said, and I keep on putting in the chat. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. Now, remember what Saban said. You got to spend the money on the right people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's two kinds of people. There's players that are just in there for the cash. We've had a whole bunch of those.
Yeah.
They went. What was the guy who made that great catch in the Iron Bowl and then went to Texas? He was mediocre after he left us, right? Because he's he's driving a Lamborghini to practice. Come on. So the highest paid squad in the country was Oregon, and they got. By the way, is everybody feeling better about how we lost to Indiana? Indiana smoked Oregon. And they're the best team in the country. They opened up 8.5-point favorite over Miami. They're going to, where's Bama hater? Oh, Isaiah Bond. Thank you, undefeated. So, we got to get, I think you got to, trust in Courtney Morgan, trust in the coaching staff. They know what they're doing. They get paid a lot of money. They, if there's an O-line that makes sense, some of these O-line guys, other than the guy Peak. Do we need to chase them, or do we need to develop what we have? I mean, I'm looking at this on 3, and there's still a couple guys out there. What's anybody here? What's the word about this? The guy from Michigan,
Ty Haywood. Just that he's in play, and we're just going to see how it kind of pans out.
All right. Well, listen. I mean, in Courtney Morgan, we trust, and I think everybody should be calm. I remember. Look at this. Look at Indiana. They got a quarterback in there, and they put a bunch of people that wanted to be teammates around him, and look where they are. I can't see them losing the national championship. So, and like I said, Keelan, we're gonna be great. So, let's get one more O-line, 2 if we can. We're gonna be fine. By the way, Beer Cans, who's a pain in the neck, he's not as bad as. I mean, he's worse than Bama hater. Their quarterback is their quarterback. Your quarterback is in the national championship without you. So stop your silliness. And I can't wait for the after show. It's going to be a Bama home game. I'll be the first caller, Kyle. I promise. When we beat when Keelan, his coming out party, smokes Georgia. So all right, that's my Saturday rant, Kyle. Thank you for taking my call. Have a wonderful weekend. My best to you, my best to the undefeated. Roll Tide, brother.
All right, man. Take it easy. All right, Chris out in New Jersey. All right, 205, call in. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Oh, man, this Fred, man, calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
All right, I'm sorry. I missed your first name. What was it?
Fred.
All right, Fred. What's up, man? Welcome on in, man.
Oh, man, thank you, man. First time calling, man. Glad to get on the line with you, Kyle, man. So it's been an honor and a privilege, buddy.
Absolutely, man. I hope you're off to a really good day, man. Come with it, bro. Welcome on, Fred.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, man. Well, I just want to just go ahead, man. Let's just get it out there. You know, Alabama we're missing the Nick Saban standard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this portal, man, with the NIL deals and these kids receiving all this money is doing exactly what Nick Saban said it was going to do. You know, and, you know, all these options that these kids have, you know, you enrolled in the school, you're not going to the school, you want to be at this school. We realizing that it's not about having the pride of playing for the school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's killing the fans. It's killing, you know, how we used to see college football, you know, and it's not just, you know, barking from a place where, you know, we're these, you know, Alabama fans, we undefeated, we getting these national championships, but it's just that the players don't believe in the coaches anymore, and they're looking at more of what they can do as far as what's coming in their bank account.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And the respect of the game has really, really lost me, because it's just about who wants a Lamborghini, who wants to pay, you know, who wants the $1 million, who want to wear the gold chain, you know, who want to do what they need to do as far as, you know, this status that they're trying to keep around the school and these friends, man. It's just, to me, it's more than that. You know, you used to play for the pride of the school. You used to be committed. When you made your decision and you was like, I'm going to that school, you represented that brand. You represented that school. You represented those colors, you know, and it's completely dying out.
Yeah.
And it's nothing but a mini NFL now. And that was the difference between college football and the NFL.
Yeah.
Because you knew these players were playing just to get a shot to make it to the draft. You know, I knew I had to be this dynamic player. I'm making this decision to go to this school, you know, so it's just riding me out, man. So all this stuff that you got going on, like with Hollywood, he done enrolled in school. Now he's going to Texas. And you got these players, we don't know what Cam Coleman is going to do. You know, he could be one of the first significant players that could ever make a huge impact as far as him playing for a rivalry school. You know, he playing for Auburn one year. The next year he's in a crimson jersey, you know. But Horton did actually leave. If you're looking at that, so Horton's in the portal. So to me, I think something is cooking as far as with Cam Coleman coming to Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you need wide receivers 100%. And I don't know if you missed it. News happened so fast, but Isaiah Horton visiting Texas A&M. So it kind of alludes to your point, who wants a Lambo, right, and respect for the game. He just said, he was like, look, I came here to play with Ty Simpson because he's my friend, and now I'm going to Texas A&M.
Right.
I have no loyalty. I don't care about the capstone. I don't care about the script day. You know, it's fun to score 3 touchdowns against Auburn, but, I'm going to go to Texas A&M and become, an instant millionaire with Wilkin Formby, and then I'm out of here. So, see ya. Exactly. I don't care about Alabama. I don't care about the brand.
It's killing, man. They are killing it as far as, that rush, that anticipation that we used to have every Saturday just to turn on the game and watching college football. We knew that players were playing just to either get a chance for the draft, but they played basically off of their talent. And I'm not saying players didn't deserve the money. I feel like the schools, should take care of the players, that are playing for the university, man. But this is getting out of hand, man.
Yeah.
We've got to put a cap on this. And now they're talking about leaking some of this stuff into the high school,
It always makes it to the home front. Yeah, crazy, man.
I'm telling you.
All right. Yeah, good call, Fred. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, good dialogue for sure. 100%.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, appreciate it, man. I appreciate you taking me a call, man. I ain't going to do no more ranting about it, man. I'm over here hurting anyway, man, but roll tide, buddy.
All right, man. Roll tide to you, man. All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, Fred out in Birmingham. 346-850. You guys are up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys calling in. Yeah, I know there's a lot of a lot to kind of go over and whatnot. So we'll keep you posted on all the news. If you have a question inside the comment box about kind of a recent commit or something that pertains to like Hollywood, just throw it inside the chat. Most of the undefeated side is the comment box. Okay. And by the way, I'm working on some new gear. Do you guys want to see the gear? Because I'm thinking about doing kind of like a reboot on some merchandise. So because I know a lot of people like to wear like the undefeated gear. I need like an undefeated shirt or something like that. So here's kind of like something that I'm cooking. These aren't final, but just kind of give you an idea. This is kind of the graphic that I might be messing with. Is that cool? Do you guys like that? This is kind of this in progress. I'm gonna get it like on a black hoodie, and I'm still kind of messing around with some of this stuff. So just kind of a little teaser of some undefeated stuff that might be coming down the pipe. So let me know. I think that's a tough logo. I think that goes hard. So I just want like a hoodie that says like undefeated or something like that. And the way that it became like the undefeated is the undefeated, they help me out, right? They always know everything. It's like having, 100 people with all the data. So, all right, we go back to the phone lines, 346. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Cal, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, Jay? I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in. You doing all right, man? Welcome to the show.
I can't complain. Coming to Nebraska, it's pretty windy right now. Pretty windy.
So what's on your mind, man? There's a million different topics to talk about. It's kind of topsy-turvy.
Yeah, it is.
What you got?
It is.
Yeah.
I'm more so. I got just a few small points. My question for you is, how would you grade our coaches that's on our staff, each one? How would you grade their development skills?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think when you're kind of thinking about, evaluating the coaches, that's a really evaluating the coaches on how they're developing the players. That's a really good question. I'll just go right to Coach Kapilovic. That's my first guy. Have you seen and I'll ask the undefeated this. Have you all seen development from the offensive line? And clearly they're going to say no, because that's what most people are going to say. They want changes. Ryan Grubb just got here. What did we see from the quarterback? Kind of, some inconsistency. Overall, I thought Ty did have a good year, though. But he's only been here 1 year. But I think that is a good question. I think with Womack, what have we seen from him overall as a defense? I'll tell you one coach that I think gets high marks is Mo Lindquist, right? Mo Lindquist probably gets really the highest marks in terms of developing talent. You got to keep him a secret, to be honest, because he's doing a damn good job with that secondary. Jay, what else you got, man?
So my question for you is, do you think it's possible? Yeah, I just seen the O.J. Howard's free. He's available to hire the coach of tight ends.
Yeah.
Do you think he would reach out to older players to come help teach the team?
You know what? I think that would be a really good move right now, to be honest. I think that DeBoer could use some former guys. Now, you got to be careful. Is like, this is your program. You got to make sure they understand that. But also, I think he could use some help in terms of that championship mindset and kind of bringing it back, because I think, kind of going to what Fred was talking about is like nobody cares about playing for Alabama or nobody cares about playing for anywhere. You bring in guys that are part of the system that know what it really takes. Right, I don't care who the guys are. They're former guys like cut from Saban. That seems to be working, right? And I'm not just saying like Saban. It's like the guys that are cut from the Saban cloth. Would you agree with me on this, fam, inside the comment box? The guys who are cut from Saban seem to be doing pretty good. Am I right? Like, that's how I see. So maybe like Jay talking about, OJ or something like that, played here, into coaching. You never know. Well, make another point, Jay, before you bounce out.
Okay. My last point is, I agree with Fred talking about the Nick Saban standard. To be honest, that's dead now. I'm being completely honest. It is dead now. So we have to focus on trying to DeBoer being DeBoer. Like not trying to live up to the standard, because the standard's gone. How we did. three games. The Oklahoma game last year, the Vanderbilt game was okay because we fought back. But the Oklahoma game for last year, the SEC championship, and the Indiana game, we got whooped in all those. So the boy needs to focus on being DeBoer and bringing his style down here, I guess, because this is the SEC. Like, I'm done with it. But thank you, Kyle. I love you, Kyle. God's the greatest.
All right, man. Take it easy, Jay. All right, Jay calling out. Good call as usual. 813. I think we got Case. Case, is this you?
No.
All right, 813. You're on the
No.
line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from? My bad. Usually I get an 813 from my boy Case, but go ahead, man. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
No, you good, brother. Hey, this is Will from Tampa. Love Bama. Sorry, a little nervous. But, no, my question, Kyle, is this year, is Bama going to really, get down to the nitty-gritty as far as we're going to hold people accountable, and are they going to try to go back to doing things the right way? I don't think, Coach DeBoer is to be to blame. I do think you need to start with the lower-level coaches. But what do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, and I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for being a first-time caller, man. Nobody, like, if you're, like, don't ever feel nervous to call. I'm literally, like, the most down-to-earth dude. I am above nobody. I am not a celebrity. I will never be above anybody. So just call in and just be who you are. It's all good. I think in regards to that, it's like DeBoer is at, I keep on saying this, I feel like DeBoer is at an interesting point in his coaching career because he did take a step forward from last year. He did. He won more games. He got to the playoffs. He won, playoff game, and he got trounced by this buzzsaw of Indiana who looks like it's going to, saw through anybody. But I think he has to, kind of look at, and this is the weirdest thing because we appreciate loyalty so much and we're asking for loyalty and we're praising loyalty, right? But I think on the other area, there's so much. There's another thing is like loyal to a fault, right? And I think with him and his coaches, and even how he's played his quarterbacks over the last couple of years, there's been times where we felt he's needed to make changes. We are not the coach, but there was times. Would you say that we felt Ty Simpson could have played in place of Milroe, right? There's times that we felt maybe another quarterback could get the offense going instead of Ty Simpson. And right now we're feeling, as fans, that another coach could get things going from a developmental standpoint from the offensive line because we haven't seen development in that area. Will he make those changes? I don't know. And kind of is that, Saban did. And other coaches do. Not just Saban. Other coaches do. You have to do that. I kind of go back to Mike McDonald with the Seahawks. That program, as soon as his organization wasn't doing what he wanted to, and that was pounding the rock, he fired Ryan Grubb immediately. Immediately. You can't be a people pleaser. There's no friends in this business. And look what the Seahawks are did. Look where the Seahawks are at. They won the NFC one season after they fired Grubb. Is that a coincidence or was that just like a lucky draw? No, they were pounding the ball now with their big imposing, going back to, what do you think about when you think about Seattle Seahawks football? Do you think about a pass-heavy offense or do you think about Marshawn Lynch? That Seattle's built off running the ball, Marshawn right? Lynch. 100%. Oh, yeah. So you make it, so I think you got to make some changes. And I think he's probably at a crossroads and he's got to do that. But Coach Kapilovic is still recruiting right now. I mean, he's the guy who got Strayhorn, and I have to ask everybody, is like, shouldn't Alabama be more focused? I love the Cam Coleman thing. Let's get Cam Coleman, all this stuff. But isn't the biggest priority offensive lineman?
Absolutely.
So,
and Kyle, I just wanted to add one more thing. After watching Indiana pretty much leave a path of destruction, it just makes me realize how far behind Bama is. I mean, we got to catch up, man. I mean, we are not dominant like we used to be, and I mean, it's just a wake-up call. Like, that's a real team,
Yep.
And if we could get somewhat back to that, we'll be all right. But thanks. I'll let you go, Kyle.
Yeah,
thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and I think this is a good point inside the comment box. Where is it? I wanted to feature this comment real quick. J-Mac, stop comparing the Saban era to this era. I 100% agree with this because, like, where we're at right now, it's it's crazy. The night and day difference from that time to now, it's crazy how much things have changed, right? But with that said, that 2020 team was nasty, right, J-Mac? That's what okay, how about this? This is a crazy question. Okay, and I know which team we're probably going to choose. That 2020 Bama team was nasty as you could get. Who you got? The 2020 Bama team or this, I guess, 2025 Indiana team? What if 5 years ago I told you, 5 years ago, we're just sitting down, and I'm like, yo, and I could tell you the future. I'll be like, in 5 years, Indiana is going to just beat the hell out of Bama. He would have been like, what? Oh, man. So 2025 Indiana. Is there like a computer program where hey, fam, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. As always, have a beautiful Sunday, and we'll see you live at 12 p.m. right here on Bama Football on YouTube. See ya.